everybody to the Wholesaling Inc Podcast, America's #1 podcast for new real estate investors, where we know without a doubt, with all certainty, that finding discounted properties is the most proven path to financial freedom. I am your host, Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, and I am telling you, if I can do it, so can you. So let's get started. We're going to start with this thought. And it's an important thought. Okay? Truly successful people know that there's something more important than ROI, or return on investment. It's ROL, return on life. ROI is what we get back from investing money. ROL is what we get back from investing in ourselves. That leads me to my guest here in the Phoenix, Arizona TTP studio from Memphis, Tennessee, Mr. Blair Bass. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excellent, man.
I'm excited for you to be here.
Yes, I'm blessed to be
here. Because, I mean, you've gone through a lot, and we're going to go into your background. We're going to go into some of the successes that you have been having. But I think a lot of your experience comes from outside of real estate, and you brought that into your real estate business, and it's really, it really is returning on those life skills. I mean, the skills that you've developed just growing up. So tell me about you. Tell me about what's going on. Tell me about how you found real estate investing, and then how you found wholesaling.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, my mom was a teacher. My dad was an industrial engineer. So school was always the end all. So I went to college twice. I had my associates in hospitality management. In 2016, I got my bachelor's in hospitality management from University of Southern Mississippi. I had plenty job offers. My mom told me, pick wisely, because, you don't want to be somewhere that you want to be stuck with for the rest of your life.
Right.
So I said, okay, I don't know, Mom. So what do you think I should do?
Yeah.
So she said, why don't you just come home where I'm staying now to figure it out. So I found out through that time when I was staying with her, she was sick. She had cancer, and it went in remission. That's why I didn't go back to college. But once I graduated, I realized she was sicker than what she perceived it to be. So that's why she told me to come back to stay home with her, to take her to doctor's visits and things of that nature. Come to find out, she was sick. Cancer consumed her whole body. January 4th, 2017, she passed away. So I had to figure it out. I was like ground zero, just like, oh man. I had this plan, go to school, get a good job, take care of my mom, go to business with her, because she was a cook. She wanted to be her own business person, but tragically she passed away.
Sure.
So I went through my depression, figured it out. Went to Illinois with her. Then I moved back to Memphis, 2017, trying to figure it out. Came up on a job just out of nowhere. A friend of mine told me, said, why don't you go to youth counseling? I said, youth counseling? That's not anywhere near what I'm doing. So, but I needed a job. So I went to a company called Youth Villages, where you teach young men and women how to get back into the life sector of life. It's residential treatment facility.
Sure.
So children have been dealing with runaways, neglect, adoption, foster homes, things of that nature. So I was going through that path, trying to help as many people as I could, being a serviceman, using psychology to mimic them, to mirror them, understand what they're going through, see if I can help them in any kind of way. I've touched so many lives, but in the back of my mind, I have kids, I have a wife. I know this job is not the end all, be all. So I found wholesale real estate just out of nowhere. My wife's friend, she's a big wholesale real estate investor in Memphis, Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah. So she's pumping like no tomorrow. So I asked my wife about, do you know anything about wholesale real estate? She was like, no. I know she's doing pretty well. I said, well, let me just go ahead and take this class. It was a free course. She gave the ins and outs of wholesale real estate. I was like, I can do this. I've done business. I know how to talk to people. I know how to be hospitable. So I asked her, so what's the process? And she just broke down the process. I was like, let me try this. Let me try this out. So I worked with her. That's September 22nd, 2018 is when I began my journey. We bought a list. It was in the high equity area. She just told me to mail out 1,000 postcards. I said, okay, let's do it. I told my wife, she was pregnant at the time, we're going to be rich. You know, it's going to be the next step to our generational wealth. She said, okay, I don't know, you know, I'm pregnant, so you're taking a risk. So it was $500. I put it in postcards. She was like, we don't have any food though. But I was like, it's gonna work. I promise it's gonna work. Yeah. I said, I'm still working, so something's gonna work.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, it didn't work.
Right.
I was calling. People were saying, no, you're crazy. Discounted properties, no.
So you were calling the same lists that you were mailing? You were cold calling them?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
It didn't work out.
Yeah.
I told my wife, well, I spent this $500.
You were just hand dialing? Like you literally were just putting their phone numbers in your phone and just calling?
Yeah, off Google Voice.
And this is after you get off work?
Yeah.
This is with small children in the house?
Yeah, I had a pregnant wife.
This is with a pregnant wife?
Yeah, a pregnant wife and a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
was it a situation that the job that you were in wasn't giving you enough income to where you wanted it to be and you guys were just kind of getting by? Or was it a situation where it was okay and you could live off it, but you knew you wanted more? Or maybe both, I don't know, yeah.
So basically I wanted more because I wanted to fund my DJ business with that because I'm a DJ. So I wanted to get out of that workforce to be able to fund my DJ career and then be able to have my wife, which is a personal chef, to be able to function together. So a chef and a DJ, we can grow together, entrepreneur style.
Sure.
But it didn't work that way as far as the cold calling aspect. And she was like, okay, well, you spent this $500, so I need you to get a return on investment ASAP.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, this list didn't work.
Did she talk to you in those terms?
It's in a nice way.
She says, I want a return on investment on this $500?
Basically.
What an incredible woman. That's an incredible woman, yeah.
Basically. Yeah. So she's pregnant at the time, so I have to take action. So I'm YouTube University all day trying to figure it out, wholesale real estate.
Yep.
Came across Max Maxwell.
Yep.
He had a 30-day challenge to get your first deal.
Right.
So at this time, I had little to no money. Calling, deal machine, driving in the city, pinpointing distressed properties, calling them, hand dialing. At this point, I'm losing money. My phone goes off. And then one day, he said, call local real estate and realtors to see if they have any off-market properties.
Right.
I said, okay, I can do that. So my phone went off that day, so I had to get another Google Voice number. So I called realtors. They said, no, we'll send you a list if we have any. Came across one property that a realtor had, and she said, well, it's not something that you may be interested in, but I'll let you look at it if you're open tomorrow.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, sure, let's do it. And she gave me the property information, and I reached out to a real estate investor that's a friend I went to high school with. He said, if you have anything, just send it my way. I can probably close on it really fast. So I said, okay, I have a potential deal for you. Are you open to check it out? He said, just send me the address. I said, okay, send him the address. He said, I'll be there tomorrow.
So wait, so let's break this down. So what was your first conversation with this real estate agent? Like, why was this real estate agent sending you these off-market deals? Did you just call him up?
Yeah, I just
You saw him driving around, or did you pull it up on Zillow? Did you pull it up on the internet? Like, how did you know to call that agent?
Oh, I was just Googling.
Okay.
Just Googling.
What'd you Google?
Real estate agents, real estate companies.
And were you looking, you just called anyone, or were you looking for ones that specifically worked with investors?
I was just calling.
Just random?
I was just randomly calling.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
No, it's one of this is the craziest things, because I talk about, obviously TTP, people correlate that with cold calling
Yeah.
owners of properties. And I totally understand that. And I think that it deserves that kind of like connection.
Yeah.
But it also means just reaching out to all the people that could potentially be in your network to send you referrals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be able to send you these off market. If they're like, hey, listen, you're my best cash buyer. I'm a real estate agent. I'm going to send you all these ugly houses because I get to keep the commission.
Yeah.
Right? And you get this property, and we can do this over and over and over again, and I don't have to worry about you closing on it. I don't have to worry about the deal getting done as long as you get the deal done, right? That's the initial thing. So guys, if you're new and you're starting out and you've never done a deal, but you get a referral from somebody in your marketplace, a real estate agent, the number one most important thing is close that deal. If you can't close it, do not commit to it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Because if you commit to it and you close it, you've lost that relationship forever. But if you commit to that and you close, man, they will bring you deal after deal after deal. And I'm telling you, it is the equivalent. It's even better, but it's like the equivalent of reaching out to one property owner and they own like 50 houses that all need work.
Yeah.
And you get each and every one of them, right?
Man,
from one conversation. But you literally can build that up if you're working with real estate agents.
Yeah, I can believe that.
So you just cold called her.
Just cold call.
And now she's sending you this opportunity.
Yeah.
You're playing middleman with your investor because your investor would never know about this deal unless you picked up the phone and connected there.
Yeah.
So you're going here, real estate agent, here, investor, and then, right?
Came together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened?
So the next day, we went to the property, low on gas, made sure I got to the property on time. I was sitting there calling my real estate friend.
Yeah.
He said, I'll be there in 20 minutes. I had to go check out another property. So I went in, looked at the property, didn't know anything about what I was doing.
Yeah.
She said, well, this is the bathroom, this is that. I'm like, okay. She said, how long you been doing this? I've been doing it for some time now, just trying to build rapport with the seller. She's like, well, my mother is sick, so we're just trying to sell it. But as an agent, I know I'm trying to get top dollar. I know I can't get top dollar, so I'm just going to sell it. I'm looking for $100,000. I said, okay. I didn't know anything about that, but I knew $100,000 was way too high.
Yeah.
So my real estate investor friend came. He said, well, let me talk to her. And he just basically was telling me everything that I need to know about property and what to assess and what am I looking for if you find anything else. And we went outside. And he said, I like it. How much do you want to make off it? I said, $5,000. He said, okay. All right, let's go back inside and let me negotiate.
Yeah.
So they sat down in the kitchen table and she said, well, I want $100,000. And he said, well, I can't do $100,000 because I have to break this wall. I have to do this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
I will be the end buyer myself. So I think $100,000 is too high. So they went back and forth. Came to $80,000. So they signed the contract. He showed her proof of funds.
Yeah.
And it was.
And that was it.
That was it.
And you made your first 5.
No. He called me later on that day. He said, well, unfortunately, I can't do the 5 because I had to go down.
Yeah.
Can you take 3? I should have took the 5, but
it's all right.
My first time.
It's a relationship, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
You don't want to get too greedy with it. You know what I mean? There's something to be said there. It's not the extra that you couldn't use the extra $2,000 or that you deserve the extra $2,000. But if you're getting pushback from them, then you say, okay, well, listen, then you owe me on the next one.
Yeah.
All right. I better make this $2,000 up on the next one that I send you because I'm going to be going out every single day and I'm going to be finding opportunities and I want to bring them to you, but I need to make sure that I can get paid on them as well. I mean, that's just, that's just savvy business, right? That's the conversation that you want to have and building that and building it and building and building it. And then all of a sudden, when you get to the point when you have 50, 100, 200 real estate agents out there sending you opportunities and you're matching them up with all the investors, life's good. Life's good. And that just supplements your efforts going directly to the seller, right? Because you're going to get the biggest spreads going directly to the seller.
That's true.
But getting these referrals don't cost you anything, and it's a lot less effort than spending hours on the phone calling the distressed property owners, which eventually you ended up doing.
Of course.
Because you joined the TTP family.
I did. So my journey with TTP was a blessing. After that deal, I was trying to figure it out. buying lists that I didn't know anything about, high equity, absentee, sending direct mail, still looking on YouTube University trying to figure it out. Lost a lot of money in the process.
Sure.
Came across Deal Machine.
Mm-hmm.
So I just used Deal Machine to start all over. So I was driving around, came across a property, hand-dialed still didn't know anything about audio dial. Landed another deal, 6K. Another time, started JVing with another investor out of Memphis.
Well, we want to break down your biggest deal.
Okay.
So I want to break that because we have this bell ring here.
Let's
okay.
Do that.
So is that where we're going?
Yeah, we're leading up to that.
Okay, keep going.
So we JV'd a couple deals together. We parted ways.
Explain JV to people that have no idea what you're talking about.
Sure.
Joint venture.
A joint venture with another investor. So we find a property. He finds a property. I find a buyer. We split the commission.
Because he doesn't necessarily have the investors that you have.
Right.
So he can't make any money on this deal. It's not a deal to him until you match it up with a ready, willing, and able cash buyer.
Right.
Right? And that's what you brought to him.
Yeah.
How did you build up your cash buyers?
It was a tip off your podcast.
Yeah.
So,
you mean the podcast you're on right now?
Yeah. So I Facebook group. Search bar, cash buyers. Mm-hmm. All there.
Yep.
I just put them in the database. Just kept going. Everyone I see just kept going and adding every day.
Yeah, and there's a couple of great resources just to be able to pull cash buyers. One is Facebook. Put it in there. Just search for the fix and flip groups, real estate investing groups, and I highly suggest everybody reach out to the admins of those groups because those people know everybody. Right? Yeah. Typically, the admins have been in it a long time. They kind of know. They manage to make sure that people aren't spamming in there and causing friction and just, kind of keeping it clean in there. So they have some authority and they know everybody. So if you reach out to them, you're connected to now thousands of investors. Right? Now, they'll get paid for that. Sure. But they do. They should. They've built up that network and that authority. Yeah. And so, but there's several groups there in your market that or several of those Facebook pages that you can reach out to the different admins. And then also just type in real estate investor Memphis into LinkedIn and it's like it's like unbelievable amount of people that'll pop up, and then you just start reaching out to them. So that's what you did.
Yeah.
You were just proactive, man.
I had to.
Right. Because you didn't have a huge you didn't have a huge bank account, a big wad of cash to throw at, this business. You went out and you traded your time and your skills and your efforts as opposed to having a big budget in the beginning. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, you don't really have to have a big budget. You just got to have a passion.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. So, you're doing these JV deals. You're using Deal Machine to build up your driving for dollars. By the way, everybody out there, Deal Machine, use coupon code TTP. It's the biggest discount you get for Deal Machine. Use a coupon code TTP, dealmachine.com. It's a driving for dollars app. It pulls up all the owner information. It lets you know if they live there, if it's vacant, if it's a rental, what it is. It's really, and they keep adding stuff to it. So anyway, let's break down a deal.
Let's break down this deal.
Yes, now this one is, let's talk about first, how did you have the first conversation with, is this direct to seller?
This deal?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Direct to seller. So it was a Bandit sign lead. My mentor told me, since you're driving for dollars, why don't you utilize Bandit signs?
Okay.
And I'm like, I see them all the time, but I don't really know too much about them. He was like, just try it out. If it doesn't work, just don't take my advice anymore.
Yeah.
And we just laughed about it. He said, okay, I'll take it. So utilize his Bandit signs, put out 200 to 300 every weekend. 50 every weekend. Came across a distressed owner. It came to his call rail number. Call rail is a business line. So he said, just reach out. I'll reach out. I made the first initial contact. So you reach out again, see if she's motivated or not. I reached out. I gave her a number, maybe a little bit too high. At first, I called her back and said, well, can you do this?
So she's driving. She sees a sign that you put out with your mentor's phone number on it. Mm-hmm. All right. And you mentioned CallRail. So just to break that down, guys, callrail.com. It's a way to get different phone numbers so that you can use it for any marketing or for a caller ID when you're making your cold calls. It's a really great resource, so definitely check that out. It's pretty inexpensive and it's easy to set up. So they call in the call reel. Does it ring to you or to your mentor?
We both can see it. So he made the first initial contact. It was ringless voicemail. So he reached out first. It was on a Sunday, so he said, I don't do business on Sundays.
Got it.
So I'll follow up on Monday, and you follow up the same way.
Yeah.
So I followed up, gave her a number. She said, well, I'm just kind of trying to figure it out if I want to sell or not. And he said, call her back. She seems like she's motivated. So I called her.
She called on a Bandit sign.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What did the Bandit sign say?
Cash for houses.
Cash for houses.
Yep.
And phone number. That's it. Oh, incredible.
It.
Simple. I remember, I think you posted a picture in the group of you with a bunch of Bandit signs. And I'm like, what is he doing with Bandit signs? Like it's a reactive marketing, but it worked in this case.
It works.
You put it out there, you planted the seed, you put your phone number out there or the call reel number, and somebody called. Yeah. So who got a hold of her first?
Well, we both kind of built rapport. So by the end of it, he told me just, assess the property. We had a big time investing company, Memphis Invest came, assessed the property as well because they were the main buyers. The fix and flip buyer really didn't want to buy it at that price point. It was a little higher than most. So they assessed it. I told the seller that, we'll follow back up to see if this is a good deal for us, and we'll see if we can help you out. Yeah.
Why did she want to sell? What was the motivation? So when we go through everything, right, we pre-qualify every lead. Condition of the property, timeline to sell, motivation, price. So, let's go to the condition. What was the condition of this property?
It was in pretty good condition.
It was pretty clean. Livable. Okay.
Yeah. It was mostly turnkey, possibly.
3-bed, 2-bath, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. What was it?
It was 3-2.
Okay, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, clean.
Did some minor renovations to it, to the bathroom.
How fast did she want her money?
Pretty fast. Within 30 days.
And why?
They stayed on the main street, and she had a small grandchild, and she didn't want to risk that. And she just went through a divorce about a year or two ago, and so she was ready to get out of the house.
See, here's the best part. When you go first, and this is for everybody out there listening and watching, if you are listening to this, you can definitely put a face to a voice at Brent Daniels' YouTube channel. Just check that out. But when you start, there's a reason I put it in that order. Condition, timeline, motivation, price. Because the condition is the easiest thing for them to tell us about, right? People will tell you how many bedrooms and bathrooms and how many repairs they've done and if they've upgraded kitchens or bathrooms or anything like that. They have no problem telling you the condition. It's the first thing. So it opens up the conversation. And then the second one is the timeline. Well, when would you like, to let you know, Miss Seller or Mrs. Seller, we typically purchase these properties in 2 weeks to a month. Does that work for you? Are you good to close in the middle of whatever the month? And that'll tell you what their motivation is, which is beautiful because a lot of people protect their motivation. But if you put the timeline to them, they open up, and then all of a sudden you start learning. Oh, I've got a young child in the house that I don't want to live next to a bunch of traffic. Oh, I just got a divorce. Now you're getting the motivation just by asking the condition and the timeline. You know what I mean? And it sounds natural. If you go into it and go, well, this sounds like it's a nice house. Why are you selling? It's much different than unfolding it when we're doing, right?
Breaking down the layers.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah, you're skinning the layers back.
Yep.
Yeah, trying to solve this problem.
And then the last one is the price. So what'd she say?
She really wanted 145, but we broke it down. We finally agreed to a 107.
Whoa! You got her down from 145. What's that? $38,000 she reduced? Just talking. How'd you get her down? Give us some tips.
So basically, we just kind of figured out the motivation. We wanted to sell within a certain time span to be able for her to get out. So my mentor kind of just built rapport with her. I threw the assist to him. He just told me just to stay informed.
You want to give him a shout out? What's his name?
Tom Ely.
Tom Ely.
Yes, sir.
Great job, Tom.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right.
Sir. So he kind of just told her, like, if you really want it at this price point, we have to do it at this time. We really want to get it at 130, but unfortunately we can't, 130, 145, but due to the area and the street, we can't really do it at that price point. So 107 is the best we can do.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So you got it for 107.
Mm-hmm.
Closing in how fast?
3 weeks.
Okay, and when you do a joint venture,
Mm-hmm.
are you the buyer in the contract, or is Tom? Or
Tom.
Tom's company? Okay.
Yeah, Tom's company.
But then you have an agreement with him that's a joint venture agreement so that you guys can both negotiate this deal and work on this deal, and you get paid?
Mm-hmm.
And do you get paid through the closing, through the title and escrow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately, at this one, it was through his LLC, so
Sure.
he just cut me a check at this
Got
point.
it. Got it. Okay. So then you lock this thing up, right? And you blast it out? Does he, or you brought it right to Memphis Invest?
Yeah, we bought it right.
Who buys a lot of properties?
A lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what's their process?
Well, like I said, they assessed the property. They liked it. They can pay a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So they said the best we can do is 119 for this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
He locked it up at 119.
119. So you made how much on it?
$12,000.
$12,000,
Yeah.
right? From a call off of a Bandit side. Ring this thing, man.
Yes, sir. I've been waiting on that.
It feels good though. It feels good, right?
Man.
Because you were doing deals for 3,000,
Yeah.
for 5,000, for under 10, right?
Yeah.
And then you popped one for 12,000.
Yeah, man.
How's that feel?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's real life.
Yeah.
And so now all day you're doing this full time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
So you have to take action every day.
I mean, and you know, the job that you had, I mean, just the last 3 years of your life have been absolutely just wildly emotional.
Man,
A
yeah.
lot of different changes.
Yeah.
But you're always in the group, you're always on the phone, you're always supporting, you're always loving, you're always bringing that optimism, you're always bringing that support.
Yeah.
You know, you're really cheering other people on in our private group. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
My mom was very hands-on. She was a child care director as
Right.
well. So I kind of got that fun spirit from her. And just God, you know, you have to be a servant-hearted man. So I want to make sure everybody else wins. I want to make sure our nation is stronger.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
And that's how you get that. That's how you keep that positive,
Yeah.
and that you're out there. What do you think? I mean, some people, as people get into and discover wholesaling, they start learning that it's not about the deal, it's not about the money. It's truly about going out and solving the problems of these distressed property owners in our market.
Yeah.
Have you found that to be the truth?
Yeah, sometimes you have to take money out of the picture and you got to figure out what's the problem.
Right.
Why do they need to sell? And how can you solve that problem as fast as possible?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't feel good when you're done?
Yeah. It feels
Oh
great.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really the biggest benefit of it. And that's really what, people can make money, but if you can't sleep at night, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be more stressed. You're going to be like, you know what I mean?
Man.
But
yeah.
it's the best sleep ever. You close this deal, and all of a sudden you're getting Christmas cards from, distressed property owners that you made like $42,000 on a deal or
Yeah.
something, and they're so thankful that you got them out of the situation, because it is the truth. People will trade equity in their property for speed and convenience.
That's
They
true.
will, and to a lot of the people that we work with, the 6 to 10% of the real estate market that's in distress, those people, it doesn't always come down to the money. Right? I mean, it's about the money,
Sure.
but it's not. That's the secondary benefit of it.
the byproduct.
The first is get rid of this problem.
As soon as possible.
First is don't worry about a young kid running into traffic, right?
Yeah.
Being in a house that you were married and now you're divorced and now it feels bad being in that house.
Yeah.
All of these things are real life. These happen
Real life
every
problems.
single day.
Every day.
And people go, well, I don't know what to do. I don't want to fix it up. I don't have a lot of money to fix it up. I don't necessarily want my neighbors know that I'm going to sell this property. I don't want it on Zillow and the internet. I don't want a sign in my front yard. I don't want strangers coming through. I don't want an inspector to come through and nitpick everything and turn my house into a bloodbath of repairs that need to be done. I just want you to give me a price and be done with it.
Yeah.
And that's the truth.
That's it.
So give some advice to people starting out. Give some advice to people that are going after their first deal. They're starting. They've got that fire in their belly, which it's not a lot of us. Out of the 350 million Americans there's a small amount of people that want to be real estate investors, even smaller that want to be wholesalers. So we're speaking to our crazy people out there that are listening, that are inspired, that have that fire in their belly to succeed in this business. What advice would you give them?
So I basically just say, learn your market. So learning your market, I would say driving for dollars.
Yeah.
So utilize Deal Machine app, and if you don't have that, just write the property address down and just take action. Look up the property assessor and just take action every day. Just try to find as many properties as you can. 200 a week is the goal. Stick to a goal, stick to a plan, take action. In 30 days, 90 days, you'll have a deal.
Yeah.
Just gotta push forward.
Got to stay consistent. Yeah. And you have to pick up the phone.
That's the key.
It starts with the conversation.
Yeah.
I don't care if it is you're waiting for referrals to come into you, or you're buying those leads from marketing, or you're going to go out and earn it by being proactive. You have to have the conversation. We talked about this today.
Yeah.
We talked about that our ability to speak and to talk and communicate effectively with people is the single greatest skill we have for making money in this business. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't we, if we don't have a lot of experience in it, if we've never done it before, if we haven't talked to people about real estate before, why wouldn't you want to get there as fast as possible? Just start having as many conversations as you possibly can.
Yeah,
I'm sure the first time that you did, you felt a little bit off, and then you felt a little bit off, and then you felt a little bit better, and then it starts to build up.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have a problem talking to people about real estate. You've been talking to my team all day about real estate.
All day.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I love it. You always learn, you know, so it helps. It helps
Awesome.
every day.
Thank you for
so
being
much.
out here.
Yes,
What
sir.
an
It's a
inspiration.
pleasure.
What a story.
It's a
Anybody in Memphis, how do they reach out to you? How do they get a hold of you? How do they just tell you, send you love?
You can reach me on Facebook, Blair Bass, or you can hit me up on Instagram.
Yeah.
At DJ Black Card is my DJ handle, or my business is
Black Card or Heart?
Card.
Card.
C-A-R-D.
Yeah.
Or my business, we just started a business page, Intrepid Investments, INTREP_investments.
Love it.
Yes,
Love
sir.
it. Guys, reach out to him. I don't care where you're at. If you were inspired, if you hear this story and you were encouraged, please reach out to Blair, especially if you're in the Memphis market. Definitely squat up with him there. Yeah. He is an unbelievable resource and a huge heart, and he really is somebody that you need in your corner if you are dealing with any kind of pessimism, or you're feeling kind of negative, or you're feeling unsure. This is the guy that you want in your life to help boost you and be around, because it is truly the people that we spend the most time with that we become. And I've seen that time and time and time again. It's a pleasure to be able to spend time with you and have you around and have you in our community. I mean, you're just absolutely phenomenal, and everybody loves you. So it's incredible. And hey, listen, if you're interested in joining the most proactive group in real estate investing, it is the TTP family.
Yes, sir.
Go to wholesalinginc.com/TTP. That's wholesalinginc.com/TTP. Check it out. Scroll down. If it feels good in your gut, sign up for a call. I look forward to working with you personally. Blair,
yes,
so
sir.
good to have you in Phoenix.
Man. Thank you.
Oh,
man.
man,
Thank
such an incredible time.
Yes, sir.
And until next time, guys, go out there. I always encourage you to talk to people. Until next time, love you. See ya.